my name is Jennifer Elliott, and I'm a yoga instructor, massage therapist. I've been teaching yoga in Southern California, all over Southern California, for about the last 12 years. I've been practicing yoga for about the last 16. I teach all kinds of different classes, anywhere from vinyasa style classes, which are kind of the more traditional power flow classes that you might see, to yin style classes, which are very therapeutic, and you spend anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes in a pose, really taking time to stretch out the connective tissues of the low back and the pelvis. With my massage therapy background, I'm also a yoga therapist. I really got into the anatomy side, so I've been teaching a lot of anatomy teacher trainings and doing a lot of continuing work with that as far as like teaching teachers to become teachers. So I'm really all over the board. Throughout the years, I've actually developed a few different teacher training curriculums that have been approved by Yoga Alliance. They're kind of the only governing body that really sort of governs our curriculum. And so I've actually helped develop a couple of schools. True Yoga was one. We developed a curriculum. We were open for a few years. And then the last 5 years, I've been working with Yoga Works with their teacher training department. I teach anatomy for several of their teacher training departments. And then recently, I've been added as one of the mentors for the 300-hour program, so I've been doing that as well. My story is actually really interesting. I graduated a year early from high school and went to Michigan and just ended up at like community college. I didn't really have a direction and felt very lost. I just didn't really fit in the Midwest and didn't really know what my direction was. And my English professor must have seen something in me, because she told me that I should write my term paper on meditation and yoga. And I sort of knew what that was, but not really. And she said, "Why don't you come to my house and I'll give you some materials?" So I showed up at her house, and there was a stack of books like this on her doorstep, and she wasn't even there, and they were all in yoga and meditation. And she sent me to yoga classes at 6 a.m. and I really didn't know what was going on, and I was kind of 17, and it looked kind of strange, and I didn't, I just kind of sat in the back, and my paper was probably awful. It was like Cliff Notes. I didn't even know what I was talking about, but it sparked my interest. It seemed interesting, and so I left Michigan, and I eventually ended up in California, and I saw an ad for yoga, and I thought, well, that seemed interesting before, and I went, and immediately that was it, and I just really, I got really drawn to it. And I really started to have a passion about it. And the teacher that I ended up initially with, she had left corporate world, and she had gone into massage therapy and yoga instruction, and she had, created this really nice center, and I really liked her energy, and what I wanted to do with my life was helping people, and something that I loved to do and that I had a lot of passion about. And so that put me into massage school. My massage school offered a yoga training, and that was it. And I just kept taking more and more trainings, and I just felt that the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn, and I just kept eating up this training and that training, and and here I am 12 years later, and it's really been it's been a great journey. So that teacher is the one that kind of pushed me. So I'm a yoga therapist, which is kind of like combining physical therapy and yoga. So for people who have injuries or something that they need to overcome that they can't really go to a group class, they need something more specific, you would maybe go to me for yoga therapy, and we would basically take all the injuries or surgeries or anything you've had and develop a specific yoga practice for what it is that's really needed for you. And then once you kind of rehab yourself back, then if you want, you can take regular yoga classes. So I did that at Loyola Marymount University, and it was a 2-year program, and it was really great. Our teachers were all yogis of 30 plus years, but what I really enjoyed about it is that they were all doctors and chiropractors, and really from this medical field. And I felt like I had gotten a lot of my yoga education already, and I kind of knew what I needed with that, but I needed more. I needed a higher education, and so that was I really enjoyed that schooling, and I felt like that has brought a lot into the anatomy trainings that I do, and a lot with working with people that maybe need a little extra help because they have spinal stenosis, or they have a herniated disc, or they just sometimes in a group setting there's not a lot of time to tell people what they need to do, or sometimes people really shouldn't go to a traditional class. They need to do something on their own, and so that was it was really it really fed my curiosity to learn in a way of like higher education, but I really enjoyed it because it was still yoga. Well, what inspired me is actually the woman who's developing the entire festival was actually, I was her mentor for the 300-hour teacher training program at YogaWorks, and so she had put this together as a project and asked me if she could do it. And, you know, of course I wanted to help her with that, and it just really took off. She really, you know, was excited about it, and a lot of people wanted to participate, and of course I wanted to help participate, and so I'm really excited. I think she's doing a great job, and I think that whether you've been part of domestic violence, personally, I think we all know somebody that it's touched, at least in some respect, and I think that really it's not even about has domestic violence touched you, but really we're trying to teach people how to use yoga to overcome any challenge they have in their life that, you know, comes from a self-discipline, from sort of taking whatever challenges you have, whether it be addiction or self-esteem or, you know, different things that are causing problems in your life, and finding a way to have a self-discovery, you know, using yoga to strengthen the person that you are, and then using that to go out and kind of make the changes that you need to make. So I think that it doesn't have to be that domestic violence has personally touched me. I think the fact that, you know, you're trying to help the community and help other people see and bring yoga to them to help them transform, I think is going to be beneficial on all levels. So that's really why I got excited, and of course I wanted to participate.